like the one with like the tiny letters. hmm Hello, my name is Patrick Borowitz, and who here has ever been distracted by their phone? Who here has been distracted by their phone during an assignment? Whether that's getting the first question done and giving yourself a well-deserved break, or getting a snap and forgetting about your assignment, we've all experienced it. That's what happened to me while I was writing this speech. I found my first source on Cars and said, it's time to play Clash Royale. And then once I found my second and third sources, I decided to take an hour-long Instagram dive. We've all experienced our phones distracting us from our lives, but have we ever considered the impacts of this consumption on us? Who here wants to learn a new skill? Like guitar, a new sport, a language? Me, I've wanted to learn music production for the last year, but I've consistently failed to find time or been too busy, when in reality it was the 5 hours of screen time I had that day. Everyone would like extra time in their day to catch up on homework, be with their loved ones, or do things that they enjoy. I found a graph in a TED Talk titled "The Battle of Your Time: Exposing the Cost of Social Media" from Dino Ambrosi, accessed on April 18th. It says that after we turn 18, we have about 864 months left to live, assuming that we turn 90. He gives us a list of things that take up that time: sleeping, driving, education, work. And unfortunately, our free time will be spent usually on our phones. It claims that about 312 months of our life will be consuming content, leaving only 22 months of screen-free free time. We have very little time here, so dropping our passive consumption and gaining time can have a lasting effect on our success, health, and happiness. So let's grab our phones and find an article about the problem. But first, what is passive consumption? Heather B. describes it as follows. Passive consumption involves mindlessly scrolling through social media, watching TV shows or movies for hours on end, or playing a video game without any critical engagement or creativity. Now, according to Rebecca Goddard from the Oxford Academic, passive use of technology such as browsing was associated with greater depression symptoms, but no other aspects of well-being. Mental health and media consumption are directly related. Other negatives that passive consumption bring are decreased attention spans, lack of thought, laziness, and all of these are on top of decreasing time in your day. Here's a table and a graph that shows our screen time and its effect on our attention spans. The table on the left was pulled from the Oxford Academic on April 20th, backed by research done by Oxford students. It claims that the average teenager spends about 7 hours on their phone. Now, quickly, I'd like to ask all of you to check your phones for your screen times. And if you don't know how to do it, it's fine. But as you're looking, the table also claims that the human attention span has dropped by 4 seconds since the 2000s, from 12 seconds to 8 seconds, which is less than a goldfish. The table also claims that about 51% of teens watch TV while doing homework. 50% of teens use social media, 76% listen to music, 60% send texts while doing homework. And I know that 100% of me falls into all of those categories. This ultimately leads to homework not getting done, getting a D on your chemistry test, or rushing to write your speech on time. Here's a note from Patryk Borowitz, accessed on April 22nd at 11:32 p.m. Good night, guys. I should probably write my speech. Well, hopefully some of us looked at our screen times, so let's do a little poll. Who here averaged 3 hours? 4? 5? 6 and up? Well, with an average of 7.6 hours, these stats line up. This was a poll I took from some of my friends in econ, not Logan though. This amount of time on our phones has also proven to impact our mental health. The graph on the right represents the number of publications about, The graph on the right corresponds with publications about mental health and screen time. And this was pulled from the Standard on April 18th. Teachers have also been affected because, according to a 2015 study from harvard.edu, which was accessed on April 23rd, undergraduates reportedly used their devices for non-class purposes on average of about 11.7 times per day, accounting for an average of 21% of class time. This leaves students missing information that they otherwise would have known, and then teachers getting angry messages from students about content that wasn't covered. Knowing that our screen time directly affects our success and mental health leads us to wanting a solution. So let's click a hyperlink to an article to find the solution. Since we spend so much time passively consuming, how do we replace that? Well, some companies are offering quick solutions to this problem. Who here is familiar with at least one of these prompts? The classic, maybe it's a time to sleep, or let your thumb rest from TikTok. Maybe just the classic screen time notification. We all get it. Maybe we'll just uninstall the app and forget about it. Well, the problem with these solutions is that it's hard to keep yourself accountable. We're always just one click away from deleting the prompt and moving on to the next episode of The Office or a reel about the Costco kid. Plan of action. What if we use that wasted time and put it into something else? What if we learned a skill, actively consumed content, instead of just turning off our brains? Well, according to Onward, accessed on April 17th at 6:41 p.m. as I was listening to Queen on the couch in the living room, they say that learning new skills and hobbies is not just a leisurely activity, but a powerful tool that can transform our personal and professional lives. It allows us to expand our knowledge and capabilities, improve our physical and mental well-being, and foster a sense of purpose and fulfillment. And I think everyone could benefit off of that. So I recommend that we figure out our passion, or even just learn a party trick, and then set time aside to learn instead of checking our phones or turning on the TV. So let's take it step by step. I'm not asking you to lose your 400-day streak with your friend, but remember that your phone doesn't influence your happiness. It's your own experience. So put it down, set aside times to check it quickly, and if you do end up setting a timer, respect that. But first, explore. Explore something you find interesting. Music, sports, math, becoming president, anything. Second, set time aside in your day for learning. Making a routine can help you stay accountable and reach your goal. Third, stay consistent. Once you break your rhythm, it's hard to come back. And fourth, and the most important, is to be proud of yourself. Being proud of yourself makes it easier to put in, affects the outcome, and it also affects your effort. Now, as we put our phones on silent, let's go out and see where our efforts have gone. Now imagine you found your passion or learned your party trick. With all the hours you put into your craft or your haven, you can finally hit that topspin serve you wanted. You got 100% on your chemistry test because you studied and didn't stare blankly at your phone. And instead of your consumption cycle repeating, you can go out and show off your musical skills or your deeper bag in basketball. Maybe you're the only one in the room who can do a handstand push-up. You can be proud of yourself. But now imagine you continue your cycle. You're the same person you were a year ago. Maybe you told yourself you were going to learn music production, but you weren't accountable. And now you're just a little older with fewer months on your graph. It's all because of those damn phones. It might just be. So now that we've let this information sit, let's revisit it and take it all in again. Scrolling through our phones, we stumbled on a problem, our passive consumption and its effect on our mental health and success. Then we read an article about the benefits of changing screen time into a hobby, and ultimately we decided whether to fill in our squares, our circles with meaning or with wonder. So what will you do with your time? Will you take care of yourself, improve? Fill in your circles wisely so you have no regrets when you fill in your last one. Thank you.